Slovakia is one of those countries that many people pass by in conversation. But not enough people truly stop to notice. And that is a shame, because Slovakia has a quiet kind of beauty. It does not shout for attention. It does not need giant headlines or dramatic promises. It wins you over slowly, through its mountains, its castles, its villages, its forests, and the feeling that somewhere here, the old Europe still lives on. This is a country where the land feels close to the people, where history is never too far away, and where every road seems to lead toward something peaceful, old, and deeply real. There is something special about arriving in Slovakia. At first, it may not try to impress you all at once. But the longer you stay, the more you begin to notice the details. A castle rising above a river. A wooden church in a quiet village. Mist hanging over the mountains in the early morning. A town square that still carries the rhythm of another century. Slovakia feels lived in, but not overworked, beautiful, but not overdone, and that balance is part of its charm. Slovakia is a country of hills, mountains, forests, and valleys. It has a landscape that feels made for travelers who enjoy slowing down, looking around, and letting the journey matter just as much as the destination. The country is shaped by the Carpathian Mountains, and that gives it a natural strength. The mountains do not just sit in the background here. They are part of daily life, part of the mood, part of the identity of the country. There is a calmness in the land, a kind of steady beauty. In one direction, you see open fields and rolling countryside. In another, dense forests and dramatic peaks. And between them, you find villages, roads, rivers, and towns that feel rooted in place. Slovakia is not a country that rushes you. It invites you to walk more slowly. If there is one part of Slovakia that immediately captures the imagination, it is the High Tatras. The High Tatras are the kind of mountains that make you pause before you even speak. Sharp peaks, clear lakes, deep valleys. Snow in the colder months, and that sense of scale that reminds you how small a human life can feel in front of something ancient and vast. This is one of the most beautiful parts of Central Europe. The mountain air feels clean and sharp. The trails lead you into silence. And every turn seems to reveal another view that feels too perfect to be ordinary. But what makes the Tatras memorable is not just their scenery. It is the feeling they create. You feel alert here. You feel present. You feel the kind of peace that comes only after effort. After climbing, after standing still long enough to really see where you are. Slovakia also feels like a country built on memory. Its castles are not just tourist landmarks. They are part of the landscape, part of the story, part of the country's long and layered past. Some stand high on cliffs. Some overlook rivers. Some sit quietly above towns, watching time move below them. One of the things that makes Slovakia so interesting is that its history does not feel locked away in museums alone. It is all around you, in the stones of old towns, in the walls of castles, in the narrow streets where generations have walked before. When you stand beneath a castle like Spiš Castle or walk through the old streets of Bratislava, you can feel that Slovakia has lived through many eras, many changes, many identities. And yet it still feels grounded, still itself. That is not something every place can say. The capital, Bratislava, brings another side of the country into view. It is a city with energy, but not the kind that overwhelms you. It feels compact, walkable, and full of character. The old town has charm without pretending too hard. The streets are easy to wander. Cafes spill into the sidewalks. History sits comfortably beside modern life. There is something refreshing about a capital city that does not try to be bigger than it needs to be. Bratislava feels human. It has river views, castle views, and a relaxed kind of atmosphere that makes you want to spend more time there than you planned. It is the kind of city where you can move between quiet corners and lively squares without losing the sense that you are still in a place with a real soul. And at sunset, with the Danube nearby and the skyline softening in the light, Bratislava feels even more thoughtful. Outside the cities, Slovakia becomes even more intimate. The villages are where the country's quieter identity really comes through. Wooden houses, local churches, small roads, green fields, and people who still live close to the land. There is a sense of continuity here, of traditions that were not designed for show, but carried because they matter. In some places, you can still feel the older rhythms of life: seasonal work, family ties, community, a slower pace, meals that matter, stories passed down. That kind of lived tradition gives Slovakia a deep sense of authenticity. And that authenticity is something travelers often remember more than the big landmarks. Because it feels real, and real is rare. One of the most beautiful things about Slovakia is its silence. Not emptiness, silence filled with life. The sound of wind in the trees, water moving over rocks, birds in the forest, footsteps on mountain trails, the quiet of snow-covered ground in winter, the hush that settles over a village after dark. Slovakia has a way of making silence feel like part of the experience, not a gap between experiences. That is why its nature feels so healing. You do not just see the landscape, you feel it. And in a world that often moves too fast, that matters. Slovakia may not be the loudest country in Europe, but it has something better. It has depth. It has a landscape that feels genuine, a history that feels present, a capital that feels livable. Mountains that feel grand without being dramatic for the sake of it. Villages that feel rooted, and a quiet beauty that keeps revealing itself the longer you stay. This is a country for people who like to notice things. The shape of a hill at dusk. The sound of church bells in a small town. The reflection of a castle in a river. The way mist settles over a valley in the morning. Slovakia is not trying to impress you with noise. It is trying to stay with you through feeling.